suspended forthwith. 3. All places, buildings, and structures with public access shall ensure that there is adequate ventilation during all periods the public has access to these places, buildings, and structures. 4. All employers shall allow vulnerable employees, including those with underlying medical conditions, to work from or stay at home. 5. In order to decongest our prisons, I direct the Malawi Prison Service and juvenile centers to present a list of prisoners and juveniles who committed petty offenses and those who have served a significant portion of their sentences for moderate crimes to the Minister of Homeland Security for processing of their release. 6. I'm further directing all affiliated line ministries and local councils to ensure that they have consulted and engaged their stakeholders, such as vendors, market leaders, religious leaders, chiefs, and the private sector, to agree on sector-specific measures and submit them to the Cabinet Committee for my approval within the next 72 hours. The coronavirus attack has a huge negative impact on the economy and business everywhere. There are many business people and industry players who are uncertain about the situation as it is unfolding. I know that everyone is worried. Therefore, government will take measures to protect jobs and incomes, protect businesses, and ensure continuity of the supply chain and the survival of the economy. Let us remember one thing: Malawi's economy has its own unique characteristics. We are not any other country. At the same time, the situation we have is unprecedented to everyone. With coronavirus, there are no models except ourselves. Therefore, it is extremely important that we must be engaging and listening to one another very carefully. Government must listen to the private sector, and the private sector must listen to us. I urge employers and employees to listen to one another. Consequently, I urge the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Industry and Trade, as well as the Reserve Bank, to constantly keep engaging and listening to the private sector as we develop and review these various measures. Our goal is to protect the private sector, no matter how harmful it may be, because our economy cannot survive without the private sector. Today, I'm directing the Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, to reduce fuel prices with immediate effect. This move is intended to reduce transport costs. I'm also directing the Treasurer to do the following. 1. Reduce salaries of the President, Cabinet Ministers, and Deputy Ministers by 10% for 3 months and direct the resources to the fight against coronavirus. 2. Instruct the Malawi Revenue Authority to open up a voluntary tax compliance window for a period of 6 months to allow taxpayers with arrears to settle their tax obligations in installments without penalty. 3. Provide a special fund to ADMAC to buy agricultural produce at competitive prices. 4. Establish a relief fund through which well-wishers, companies, and individuals can support the fight against coronavirus. 5. Apply tax waivers on importation of essential goods for coronavirus management. These include personal protective equipment, hand sanitizers, soaps, water, treatment, chemicals, and many more. 6. Waive non-tourism levy to support the tourism sector. Waive resident tax on all foreign doctors and medical personnel. 8. Increase the MEDEF loans allocation from 13 billion to 15 billion in order to help micro, small, and medium-scale businesses that have been seriously affected by the pandemic. 9. Increase nutrition allowance payable to civil servants with foundational medical conditions by 50%. 10. Reduce fees and charges on all electronic money transactions in order to promote use of electronic money transactions. I'm also directing the Minister of Health to recruit 2,000 health workers to assist in the fight on the pandemic. We need more soldiers and human power in this fight. I'm directing Treasury to increase the risk allowances for health workers as a matter of urgency. The welfare of healthcare workers is our welfare. Their safety is our safety. I'm directing the Minister of Agriculture to ensure that Auction Holdings Limited functions normally, to operate the tobacco marketing season and protect tobacco farmers. Further, I'm directing the Reserve Bank to, 1, implement a win-win arrangement with commercial banks and microfinance institutions to observe a 3-month moratorium on interest and principal repayments for all loans contracted by micro, small, and medium enterprises. Under this arrangement, the regulator will encourage commercial banks to restructure loans to this sector in order to extend their repayment to more than a year. 2, cushion the foreign exchange market to ensure availability of forex and stability of the foreign exchange rate. 3, activate an emergency liquidity assistance framework to support banks in the event of worsening liquidity conditions and provide support to banks on a case-by-case basis. I'm also directing government to discuss with my Confederation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry and the Tourism Association of Malawi for win-win arrangements that will ensure that there are no redundancies in companies. As we speak, I've discussed with SADC, COMESA, and other regional blocs, as well as neighboring countries, to ensure smooth transportation and importation of essential goods and raw materials into Malawi. Finally, I hereby direct the Competition and Fair Trading Commission to increase surveillance and protect consumers from anyone who wants to unfairly increase prices of essential goods. People who intend to take advantage of our current situation will be punished. I will not allow anyone to make profit